Hey, 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 what is up? I am so excited to be here with my friend Raquel Benita. What I love about social media is that you can connect with people all over the world with different stories and different backgrounds. And one of the things that I was really excited to connect with Raquel about is her mission out there with being body positive. In a world where many people struggle with fad diets and struggle with body image and struggle with being the perfect version of themselves, which we all know is compared to a magazine that's photoshopped and like completely unrealistic. I want to really quickly before we get started just say, I've always been into health and wellness. I've always, tried to be active and eat well and live well. Because when I was raised with Italian Ukrainian parents, I didn't really understand what healthy eating was, and I didn't know how to cook for myself. I didn't know what healthy meant. And as I grew up, I had a lot of issues with food. I ate my feelings. I struggled with starving myself and then binge eating, and I didn't have this healthy relationship with food. And I think that it's so important that we are more aware of all of these things. And I'd said to Raquel, the reason I wanted to interview her is because I previously had been with a company where it became really like not so much focused on health and wellness anymore. It was like pushing weight loss, weight loss, weight loss, skinny this, skinny that. And I just started to not feel good about that conversation anymore because I have a daughter and I know what I struggled with growing up and finding a healthy relationship with food. And I don't want her to go through the same thing. So these are conversations that we need to have. So Raquel, now that I've spoken way too much, I would love to hear your story and hear about how this became a really important message for you, and then we can go from there.
For sure. So, hi everyone. I'm Raquel. I'm 21 and I live in Toronto. We met through my Instagram page. It's called Better Sore Than Sorry. It used to be about fitness and health and weight loss, and I like transformed it as I've learned more throughout the years to a body positivity, health, and fitness page about how to live a healthy lifestyle as a whole, physically and mentally. So that's what I do now. So yeah, my story is pretty much that as a kid, I grew up, well, just like you a bit, and I grew up in a Jewish home. So food is like the center of everything. And yeah, so there's no such thing as like body shaming or being scared of food. It's just like you eat to enjoy. But like on the outside, when you go to school and you're the heaviest kid there, people don't understand. So yeah, I always grew up as the heavier kid. At camp, I was the heaviest kid in my cabin. At school, I was like one of the heavier girls in my grade. And that's a really crappy feeling, especially when you're surrounded by other kids who don't have filters and don't understand what's right from wrong, don't know what to say, and like that's not their fault. That's how they're raised. They don't know about that stuff. So I was always that kid who was like bullied for being heavy, and it's always, not a good feeling. But my mom would always support me and my parents would always support me, but that's never enough. You know what I mean? Like you want to
Yeah.
be part of the cool kids and you want to be accepted at school where you spend most of your time.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's what it was. And I would like eat a lot. I would binge eat. And like you, I would find comfort in food and, the typical things. And then when I got it to grade 12, I decided that it was time to become healthy. And I always exercised throughout my life and thought I was eating healthy, but it like never worked.
Right.
So yeah, for a reason it didn't work. So in grade 12, it was like before prom. I wanted to be like, I wanted to be pretty for once because I didn't know the definition of pretty. I thought it was when you could fit into a size 0 and get attention from boys and, the classic things that young girls are warped to believe. And so I went into grade 12. I went to a nutritionist and I started going to gym classes and everything was great. And it was a healthy way of losing weight. I wasn't like starving myself or any of that stuff. And I lost a bunch of weight. I lost like almost 60 pounds in a year.
Wow.
And at
Wow.
prom, I was like, oh my God, I feel so good. Like I'm finally one of the girls who could fit into a dress. And I wasn't a size 0. I was like a size 8, but still like it was a huge accomplishment for me. And I felt so good. But at the same time, like my brain started to switch to more of the eating disorder, negative
Yeah.
talk because I got so obsessed with it. So as I went into university, you know, you move away from home, you don't have your parents to sort of like guard you and support you and keep you in your bubble. So you get exposed to a bunch of things. And I kept on getting more obsessed with eating healthy and more obsessed with weight loss. And I developed orthorexia, which is a fear of food or like an obsession of food. And I was obsessed with eating like clean food. So I would only eat like fruits and vegetables and chicken breasts and, you know, the classics of weight loss. And, you know, I always say that I wish I could go back and redo my first year of university because I never got to enjoy. I think I drank maybe like 3 times, which is crazy because university, especially first year, is like a time to party, you know?
Yeah.
I never, I never got to experience like going to McDonald's with my girlfriends after the club because I was like, oh, I won't eat French fries or whatever. So, you know, it took over my life. I was much skinnier than I am now. And I loved that part, obviously, because I was never the skinny girl, but it came along with, it like took me down mentally. And I was very anxious and I would come home often and, you know, all that stuff. So then when first year was over, I saw a therapist who specializes in eating disorders. And obviously when you're in the moment, you don't think you have an eating disorder. I was like, there's no way I do. I just want to eat healthy and work out and stay the way I am because I never want to get back to my old days. So I saw her and she really helped me sort of find balance in my life. And she said, I'm not asking you to go out and gain the 60 pounds that you lost. I'm just asking you to go try a bite of a chocolate bar and it's not going to kill you. And life isn't about like, how is life worth living if this is the way you're going to live? You know what I mean? So is it worth it to fit into those genes if you're like a slave to the food that you're eating? So, you know, it was sort of like, it really opened my eyes and I was like, you know what, you're right. I'm not living. I wasted my whole first year of university being obsessed with eating healthy and missing out on the fun aspects of life. And so then when second year came, I found balance in third year and fourth year, whatever. So in at the end of second year, I had my first boyfriend, which is also a huge thing for girls, especially girls who've never had boyfriends, because attention from boys is something that society puts such a great light on. Like, oh, if you don't have a boyfriend by this age, if you don't kiss a boy by this age. And I was never that girl. I was like, I haven't kissed a boy and I'm like 19. I haven't done anything. And exactly. Like I'm living my best life and I haven't done any of that. So So then I had a boyfriend and my parents actually said, you need to let loose and enjoy life a little bit because it's not fun to be around people who are restrictive or who only think about eating vegetables. And that really helped because I was like, you're right. Nobody likes the person who was like, I don't want to eat today, or I'm not going to have this or whatever. Not that anyone should judge anyone, but you know what I mean? So I let loose. And then I gained some weight. And that's when my body issues restarted. And they never went away. They never really go away. Everybody has their thing about their body that they don't like for their whole life, regardless of what you change. But yeah, then they came back and I was insecure again and it all started again. And throughout this whole period, I had Better Story Than Story in my Instagram account. And that really, really helped because no matter what I was doing, my followers always supported me. And I felt like it was my only way to like portray my truth. I would show that I would eat chips, but I would also eat salad and I would go to the gym and wear a sports bra like everyone else. But I didn't have a six pack, you know what I mean? So I was sort of like normalizing normal bodies, but I wasn't talking about it because I was still like, oh, my thighs are bigger than that girl. I'm not going to show my thighs in this photo.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So whenever you want to talk, just talk. I just love.
No, I love this. No, please.
Okay. Yeah. So then it started this year. Actually, I was like, you know what? Every time I talk about, like, I'll just make jokes, you know, like, oh, I have thick thighs and like I'm